Christianity in the West. Because the Church was an appendage of society and an ally of the state, it was doomed to follow the intellectual and spiritual decline during the so-called European Dark Ages. In this period, religion increasingly became a matter for monks and ascetics and became bound to laws and regulations. Spiritually, Christianity was in hibernation. Throughout this entire period, alongside this slumbering, secularized religion, there existed an unbroken stream of mysticism, of erratic spiritual experiences bordering on the unreal. During these dark, desperate centuries, religion became something secondhand. The individual lost its privilege and nearly vanished in the dominating shadow of tradition and the coercive prescriptions of the Church. A new spiritual threat arose when an entire array of saints was created, who were believed to be able to exercise special influence in the divine courts and who, if effectively appealed to, could intercede for people with the gods. But Christianity was sufficiently socialized and integrated into the national character to, although powerless to prevent the approach of the Dark Ages, be all the better able to survive the long period of moral darkness and spiritual stagnation. It indeed endured during the long night of Western civilization, and it functioned all the while as an ethical influence. Geographically, it had lost significant territories due to the rise of Islam. 3 of its 5 decentralized knowledge centers, Alexandria, Jerusalem, and Antioch, had been conquered by the Arabs. Their Rome had already fallen with the Western Roman Empire in 476, and in the winter months of 550, the once powerful city, partly due to the bubonic plague, had been entirely depopulated. The only major Christian power center still standing was Constantinople, and this capital of the Eastern Roman Empire faced perilous moments in 716 when the Arabs besieged it with an overwhelming force. A large fleet attacked it from the sea, but thanks to a secret weapon, liquid fire, it managed to repel the assault. On the Bosphorus, it sprayed sticky, burning oil from small boats onto the attacking war fleet. It held firm, and in doing so, it was, as it were, the final bastion that secured Christianity for the European hinterland. There followed long centuries in which knights, monasteries, and dioceses Christianized the entire continent. Rome recovered, but there was no longer room for 2 equal decentralized centers. In 1054, the Great Schism became a reality, and the Church split into the Roman Catholic and the Eastern Orthodox Church. The West grew in strength, but the Eastern Roman Empire continued to crumble until its territories encompassed little more than Constantinople. Relations between the two deteriorated, and in 1204, Constantinople was unfortunately plundered by crusaders. The old giant revived briefly until it was captured by the Ottomans in 1453, after which the power of the Roman Catholic Church increased. The Renaissance broke through, and the Mother Church became increasingly intolerant. Knowledge and technology advanced, resistance against the Church grew, and the Reformation followed. The northern European peoples cast off Catholicism, and Protestantism was born. The Bible was translated, and the common man gained access to Scripture. The individual broke free and rediscovered spiritual freedom. Its guiding principle became Sola Scriptura, Scripture alone. The rehabilitation of Christianity after the Dark Ages was accompanied by great chaos, persecutions, and wars, such as the extremely bloody 30 Years' War in the German territories. Rome lost its authority, and this led to the emergence of numerous church schisms and sects, primarily driven by the rising dualistic thinking. European opportunities dominated the world's seas, the American continents were discovered, and in this pioneering era, a type of person thrived who was adept at making quick decisions to push forward. People went left or right, wasting no time on finding a middle ground. If they truly could not agree, there was enough space to part ways. This worked well for acting decisively to cultivate hostile territories, but when space became scarce, it left behind a spiritually fragmented legacy. And wherever people lacked the courage and strength to free themselves from dualism, the glorious past holds sustainable solutions for the future hostage. The two-party system in America is an example of this. Christianity has a history that demonstrates it arose from the unintended transformation of the religion of Jesus into a religion about Jesus. Furthermore, its history shows that, regardless of where it came from and what it has endured, it possesses an inherent vitality and a tremendous capacity for recovery. And this same Christianity is still spiritually leading in the civilized world of Western peoples, where it faces a struggle for its existence that is even more ominous than all the previous crises that have threatened it. The so-called Christianity has become both a societal, cultural movement and a religious belief and practice. The river of modern Christianity draws its water from many a pagan swamp, and many ancient cultural riverbeds also drain into this stream. Those who drink from it assume it comes from the highlands of Galilee, where its source is vaguely remembered, but the water is polluted because it has dared to lower its ideals. It has succumbed to human greed, self-enrichment, war frenzy, and the desire for power, and now it threatens to slowly die from formalism, over-organization, intellectualism, and other non-spiritual tendencies. Christianity suffers greatly because it is identified with the West in the thinking of the entire world. And it is certainly true that they have strengthened each other. Both have embraced the individual and elevated it to great heights. Both have, often indistinguishably, nourished philosophy and provided it with content regarding freedom. And now it seems as though Christianity has unwittingly supported a society that tolerates science without idealism, politics without principles, wealth without work, pleasure without self-control, knowledge without character, power without conscience, and industry without ethics. It is to be hoped for modern Christianity that it will cease to support the social systems and industrial policies of Western civilization while humbly bowing before the cross, which they so boldly glorifies. There, it can learn anew from Jesus of Nazareth the greatest truths that mortal man can ever hear, the living gospel of the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of men. In this gigantic struggle between the secular and the spiritual, the religion of Jesus stands firm as the untainted, transcendent spiritual call that asks the best in man to rise above all these legacies of their paths and, through grace, attain the moral heights of true human destiny. And it will triumph